You know what's better than just watching a normal game of football? Spotting some absurd moments while you watch. Moments that make you go, hey, what the hell's going on here? We see so many moments like this in the sport, so I've decided to bring you 15 of the most absurd moments in football. We'll start with that time Ronaldo decided enough was enough, told HR to do their worst, and ran to complain about his bosses in front of the whole world. I know what you're thinking. Isn't that what we all want to do? Yup, but not like this. Ronaldo was having a tough time during his second stint at Manchester United, and just before the 2022 World Cup, he did a tell-it-all interview with famous journalist Piers Morgan, where he dragged his coach, former coach, owners of the club, and even some of his teammates. Absolutely nobody was safe that day.
They're trying to force you out.
Yes, not only the coach, but the other 2 or 3 guys there around.
At the senior executive level.
Yes, that I felt betrayed.
Ain't no way they were letting him stay after that. They showed him the door immediately, but it doesn't matter anyway. He's currently receiving a king's treatment in Saudi Arabia. While one guy was getting thrown out, another guy was getting ready to do the craziest thing on a World Cup podium. Emiliano Martinez is one of the craziest fellas the sport has ever seen. But even though we all knew he was crazy, we never expected him to do this after he was called up to receive his Golden Glove at the 2022 World Cup closing ceremony.
Emiliano Martinez.
Nah, this guy is absolutely insane. Everybody around was so shocked. That image trended for days. Now, this next one did not happen on the pitch, but it's still very much a football moment. So, ex-Barcelona superstar Shakira and Pique and his longtime partner, Grammy Award-winning musician Shakira, said their goodbyes in 2023, and it wasn't pretty. The rumors going around were that they broke up because Pique cheated, and well, Shakira confirmed it with one of the craziest diss tracks. Pique has to be the first footballer to get a diss track made for him. And you know what's even more absurd? That song went on to win a Latino Grammy, and guess who presented the award to Shakira? Pique's longtime nemesis, Sergio Ramos. This is not football anymore, guys. This is hip-hop. And matters off the pitch can go really wild, you know, just like when Everton fans pulled a classic French riot against their own players. The club's been going through some difficult times recently. This season, they even got slapped with a 10-point deduction in the Premier League. Last season, though, they didn't get any points deduction, but they were nearly relegated. And the fans made sure they showed the players they weren't having it. They got Yerry Mina giving a speech like he was being grilled by the Senate. The players were surely lucky they kept their promise and stayed up. If not, but that's not even the worst reaction we see from fans. We literally saw PSG Ultras march down to Neymar's house and tell him to leave the club. That's just all shades of absurd. In fact, that's literally harassment. It's not enough that you whistle and boo him on the pitch. You go all the way to the man's house to harass him. Get a hold of yourself, guys. Up next is the most surprising collaboration of 2023. No, trust me, it was shocking. When the mayor of Manchester met the Pope, I'm sure no one expected football to even be a discussion at the table. But guess what? A picture surfaced on the internet of the mayor handing the Pope a signed Lisandro Martinez jersey. I kid you not. So obviously the Pope is Argentinian and Lisandro is an Argentine who plays for Manchester United. So it sort of makes sense, yeah, but it's still a bit absurd, isn't it? Still, in Argentina, here's something that's not just absurd, it's actually a little spooky. So we all know Diego Maradona, of course, one of the greatest players who have ever kicked a ball. He won the World Cup with Argentina and the Serie A with Napoli, and both of these teams didn't win those trophies again throughout the magician's lifetime. Then Maradona passed away in 2020, and somehow they both won the same competitions in the 2022 through 2023 season after more than 3 decades. What a coincidence, right? A little spooky, I won't lie. Any chance it could get even more absurd? Yep, you betcha! We've seen everything there is to see on the football pitch. Brawls, bizarre own goals, and insane goals. Something new we saw in 2023 was a referee losing his cool and giving a player a piece of his mind. Or a piece of his arm in this case. Yep, Liverpool's Andrew Robertson can be a bit of a jerk sometimes, but not in 1,000 years did I think that I'd see a referee take out his frustrations on a player like this.
official Konstantin Hatzidakis clashing here with Andy Robertson.
Bro, you should be the one enforcing order as the referee. But here you are elbowing a player. How absurd. Whether you think Robertson deserved it or not doesn't matter. That was just such an insane scene. Anyway, what would have truly been an insane and iconic scene would be if we had real-time videos of this next incident. However, from trusted reports we got, Chelsea's 2023 was awful in more than one context. Yep, the club had a tough time and lost games every other week, but the truly shocking thing that happened, the squad was so full the dressing room couldn't take the players, and some of them had to dress up in the corridors like some hobos. Imagine being the player asked to dress up outside and trying to eavesdrop to listen to the coach's tactics. Damn, no wonder they couldn't just stop losing that season. Meanwhile, on the other side of London, we saw a player who couldn't even buy a goal at the time for his club go to the World Cup and turn into prime Ronaldo. Richarlison was really struggling at the Spurs after a big money move, but halfway through the season, he went to the World Cup with Brazil, started over Gabriel Jesus, and then scored the goal of the tournament. Sheesh!
Forcing Lazovic back and finding Richarlison!
Brother was on another level in that tournament. We were all so shocked. We've now looked at Chelsea and Spurs separately. Up next, we want to look at a moment that involved both of them. When Chelsea and Spurs played out a somewhat entertaining draw right at the beginning of the 2022 through 2023 Premier League season, fans didn't know they'd be getting even more intense entertainment after the final whistle. This was the craziest end to a game, and from that moment we should all just have known that the season would be full of drama. Speaking of handshakes, come meet this lady who nearly got her wrist dislocated after getting a handshake from Erling Haaland. I imagine that's how it'd feel when you get dapped up by a robot. You better not let them take over the world. But honestly, post-COVID, we should all be going for fist bumps rather than handshakes. But well, this fan tried to do just that. But Alan Saint-Maximin gave the most absurd response to his offer. Look at this. What makes this moment even more absurd was the lady in front, who thought the former Newcastle man was coming to her, only for her to be sorely disappointed at the end. No wonder the Newcastle fans had no problem with the club selling the Frenchman. Let us now look at two of the weirdest moments of the 2023 through 2024 season, which came in one game: the Champions League group stage match between Man United and Galatasaray.
It is Hakim Ziyech who takes it. Oh, it's gone through the wall and into the net.
Nah, Onana should definitely be investigated for match fixing, because what the hell was that display? But I promise you, nothing will prepare you for this next entry, which happened in the Match of the Day studio.
Video tonight, and I don't know who's making that noise, but so Alan Sheary's alongside Steve Bauer.
Were those sex noises on live TV? My goodness, that's one of the craziest pranks we have ever seen. Who the hell was responsible for that? It's Gary Lineker's show, but you can tell that the former Barcelona man was just as confused as everybody watching. Well, that's all, folks. What could possibly be weirder than these moments I've shown you in this video? Tell me in the comments. I'll catch you in the next one, as always.